Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Haynes. I'm an audiobook narrator,
And I'm Trenton Bennett, and I'm also an audiobook narrator.
and we are here to discuss things that are on our minds in terms of the craft and business of doing audiobooks. Trenton, let's talk about this week's theme because you and I had been talking earlier as we were comparing accountability notes, and you agreed that it might be good to bring this up since it's going on for you.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. I goofed. I honestly did. I sincerely had this idea that this week I would reach out to publishers, and while I was doing some updating of my other stuff, I didn't do it because I got into this point where I said, I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm kind of afraid that it might go wrong because I don't have these other things lined up, these other little elements. Not all my ducks are perfectly in a row, and I need to do all of these other preparing things to prepare. And so I didn't do that task this week. And honestly, as I dug into it, I realized that it was because I was overthinking it. I
Mm,
was assuming that everything has to be perfect before I can get started.
mhm.
And that's not healthy thinking because it led me into a state of anxiousness and I didn't do the task.
Mm, mm. Um, yes. And I think we have all been there. Hence, there's a popular term for it, analysis paralysis.
Yes.
Um, what other insights do you have in your journey with this sort of thing?
Well, so I looked at one other thing that didn't happen this week, which was auditions. And the nice thing about it is I looked for auditions, I found several, and I said, okay, am I doing the same thing here? Am I saying this isn't a perfect match for me, therefore I'm not going to begin because it has to be perfect? And I realized, on the other hand, no, that was not the case. These particular projects were not right for me, and I would not do well for them. And that's okay because I'm going to look for more next week.
Hmm. So there's what as we were talking about this, what emerged for me is the idea of a deliberate no in terms of, saying no to this means saying yes to other things I could be doing with my time that are more productive. But then there's an avoidant no, which is no, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what um as we move forward in the week, what's on your mind?
I'd say really the analysis paralysis thing is key. You learn
Yeah.
to really self analyze. And in that case, you ask yourself if I'm doing something that's not a step forward and is not moving my career forward, or I'm not doing something and that is not moving my career forward because of it, why am I doing it? But you
Mm,
don't want to get in too tight of a spiral. You want to just say, what's the surface reason? What is really going on that's causing this to happen? And not go into a, well, then that means I'm not capable because I clearly couldn't get
right.
everything perfect. You have to not overthink it.
Right.
And that was it. I was like, okay, well, I overthunk it.
Mhm.
That shouldn't
Mhm.
have happened, but it did. And now I know that I've lost a little time because I didn't do that task. And that, to me, some people react differently. Some people are like, well, then in that case, I'm going to continue to spiral about it. But for me, I'm
Right.
like, okay, well, that's a little bit more of a kick in the butt to try to make up for lost time and do better this week.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be something that's heavy. It can just be oh, okay. That's the reason. Let's work with that. Sometimes I just give myself a break, if I'm clear that I'm afraid. It's like, okay, I'm afraid. I don't want to do it. I am consciously making a decision to avoid this out of fear. But, it doesn't at least it doesn't give me anywhere to hide, it's like, "Nope,
Yes,
I'm deliberately, doing this." Yeah,
exactly. You have to be willing to uncover that and know that that's what's going on and think, okay, if I'm deliberately not now, then I need to be sure that I'm healthier about
right,
this in the future. And I've solved whatever problem is causing me to be this way now.
right, yeah, yeah. Alright, well, terrific, and so everybody, I am Matt Haynes,
And I'm Trenton Bennett.
and as your narrators, teachers of narration